What would you like to do? What do you believe you've been destined to do?
I don't know what your dream is, but if you write it down, at some point, everything's going to begin to change.
If you can see it, you can have it. I know, it hasn't been easy. You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. If you are alive, you have another opportunity to begin again. In this very moment, all you have is all you need. It's time to win.
You have a date with destiny. You have unfinished business. It's time for you to go back to the drawing board with a new perspective. Perspective is what changes the game. You feel like you're underpaid and undervalued and overlooked, but listen, are you gonna complain in the face of conflict, or are you gonna seize the opportunity? You have an opportunity to rise above what happened to you. Will you buckle under the pressure, or will you rise to the occasion? I'm talking to that person that is acquainted with pain. I'm talking to that person that knows what it's like to come from nothing, and so you literally have nothing to lose, and the only thing that's in your hand is a dream. The only thing that's in your head is, I have what it takes to get to the top of that hill. At some point, you gotta say, I got this. You will need to normalize in your mind walking alone. You gotta get up on your own. You gotta be able to make big decisions on your own. You gotta lose weight on your own. There are a myriad of targets you have to hit by yourself. Oftentimes, it's the people that go away into a very healthy isolation to equip themselves, to condition themselves, to educate themselves, to come out empowered. And so you gotta get into this workspace where you can do it by yourself. It doesn't matter if it's the office, it doesn't matter if it's the gym, it doesn't matter if it's the court, it doesn't matter if it's the field, it doesn't matter what arena you are stepping into. You gotta get to that place where you don't need attention, you don't need recognition, you don't need the accolades. You just wanna put in the work, and the next time you surface, the next time you show up, it's game over.
If you throw me to the wolves, I'll return, leading the pack. You see, a wolf is willing to leave its pack behind and find a new one. The time is now when we must adopt the wolf mentality. Be relentless, resilient, never quit, and never look back.
I know what it feels like to be fractured and falling into pieces. But you gotta silence the voices in your head that are telling you you need a shortcut, you need a cheat code. Eliminate the negative, self-sabotaging voices. Find a mirror and tell yourself, I got this today. I got this today. I'm gonna make it. I'm going to create it. I'm going to build it. All I have is all I need. Resources may come and go, people may come and go, but I've got a vision, and I've got the provision, and I've got the determination and the discipline to hit my aims and to punch through my targets. Can you do this thing without attention? Can you do this thing without public affirmation? Can you do this thing without people telling you that you are everything to them? Without people applauding you and saying you're great, you're awesome, oh, you're amazing. Can you do this thing alone? Can you be your own cheerleader for a moment? Can you be your own hype man for a moment? Can you tell you, I'm good enough, I got this, that all I have is all I need? I believe in friendships and partnerships and collaboration and counsel and advice. But there are some things in life you are going to have to do alone. There are some arenas you're going to have to show up in, and nobody is coming. Nobody's coming to save you, nobody's coming to help you. Nobody's coming to show you a shortcut. You gotta figure this out on your own. For most of us, Nobody's gonna feed us. You gotta feed yourself. You wanna lose the weight? You wanna reach your target, your aim? You gotta put the work in. You gotta feed yourself the food that is required to power the body that you want. It's not about trying to be a lone ranger more than it is about taking responsibility and prioritizing yourself first. There are some things in life nobody's gonna show up. It's all on you. I need you to find a mirror right now and tell yourself, it's all on me. It's all on me. This one is all on me. When I go get this degree, ultimately, I gotta go get this degree. When I go get this certification, ultimately, I got to get this certification. I've got to finish strong. I've got to condition myself. I've got to go get the education. I've got to get out of bed. I've got to go to the gym. I gotta eat clean. Nobody's gonna feed me. I gotta feed myself. If you're listening to me right now in the gym, on your walk, on your run, you're lifting, you're building, you're creating, you're imagining something, I just need you to push, and I need you to believe that you don't need the spotter, that you don't need the training wheels, that it is your time, that it is your turn, and you no longer need help, you no longer need assistance in this area of your life. Push like you have never pushed before. Give it everything you have, because that spotter is not gonna be there for you for the rest of your life. If you wanna grow 1 millimeter more, if you wanna push, just push a little harder. Everybody wants to grow a little bit taller, so we gotta push a little bit harder. Life is lived on levels, and I can't bring my spotter with me. The spotter cannot walk with you all of your life. At some point, you gotta say, I got this. I got this. Push! Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I got this. I got this. If I have to do it alone, I will. Because to fulfill this vision, to fulfill my destiny, ultimately, I am depending on the God that put the dream in my heart and myself. With tears in your eyes, with broken hands and a heavy heart, if nobody is there and you are in a room by yourself, start alone, but get started. Help is coming, but everything rises and falls on you. Oftentimes, the people that you wanted in your life will reject you, and that rejection is protection. It is a blessing, because it's the same people that rejected you that will need you and that will rely on you. Come on, how many people have you tried to help and you were bleeding, battered, and broken? How many times have you called for help and the help was toxic? Come on, how many times have you asked for advice and the advice brought more adversity? Take responsibility for yourself. Take control of your life. I need you to understand your worth and stop playing the blame game. Because 9 times out of 10, the people that hurt you, you brought them into your life. And so you got to reflect over the past. You have to acknowledge the present, and you have to cast vision for your future and take accountability and kill the self-condemnation. Stop tearing yourself down on the inside. Stop saying one thing, thinking another, and acting in a whole nother way. How you think is how you talk, and how you talk must be how you behave. Because your thoughts will determine your behavior, and your behavior determines your future. And so everything's got to line up. And so you need an alignment, an internal alignment. I can't align you. You got to make a decision to align yourself. You can hear a speech and make a decision, but every day you have to make that decision. That decision has to evolve into discipline. And discipline turns into mastery. And mastery builds momentum. You're not going to always get it right, but you got to keep going. When you start alone, you possess a power that few can handle. You are alive for a reason. Why on earth are you here? This is your day. You've got a window. You've got another 24 hours, because you may not make it to tomorrow. And I'm just wondering what you're going to do with the day. The reason why days often feel meaningless and mundane is because we are directionless. You got to get some direction. I'm just wondering, what are you going to do in this next 24 hours that you did not do? I'm just wondering if you're going to level up 2 millimeters more than you did yesterday. Are you going to get better? Are you going to get stronger? Are you going to get wiser? Are you going to see this thing differently? I'm just wondering, when are you going to see the power of 24 hours? That you did not have to wake up, that God did not have to give you another opportunity to be here, another opportunity to forgive somebody, another opportunity to let it go, another opportunity to look up and get up. I'm just wondering, when are you going to seize the opportunity? Accept where you are. Get cognizant about your money. Get cognizant about your relationships. Where are you mentally? Where are you spiritually and emotionally and financially and economically? Are you driving what you are destined to drive? Where's your health? Where's your heart? Let's get aware of where we are. This is my day to read a new book. This is my day to start a journey. This is my day to make an investment. This is my day to invest in myself. This is my day and this is my time, and it's my turn to crush this day. This is the day I learn like I never have. This is the day I invest like I never have. This is the day I take it seriously. I got one window. I may not be here tomorrow. I'm just wondering if you're going to rise and see the opportunity. Get up, get up, get up. You've got a day to conquer. If the day's going to be good, I got to heal from the mistakes that were made yesterday. I've got to believe that I don't have to make the same mistakes. It's time to heal. Today I heal. Today I heal from every mistake that is made. Today I heal from everything that I said that I could have said better, and everything that was said to me that I wish was never said. I heal today from the people that pushed me verbally but did not support me physically, that were never present. Today I heal, I heal, I heal. I heal from what I did not have. I heal from what I did have that I did not want. Today I heal. After we heal, we have to acknowledge what went wrong. What could I have done differently? What boundaries did I allow to be breached? Relationally, financially, with my investments, with my mindset. Where did I put my energy and I didn't get anything back in return? It's like investing in a vending machine with a sign on it that says out of order. And I'm convinced that many of us invest in people and places that are just simply out of order. And this is why we're drained. And this is why we're tired. And this is why we're weary and well-doing. And this is why the day is mundane and it's the same old, same old. Something's got to change with you. I'm just wondering if you're going to repeat the cycle. If the redundancy of mediocrity is going to continue. We've got purpose and we've got fulfillment and we've got destiny breathing down our necks. Let's accept the truth. This is the only way the day matters, is if we get aware of what's happening and what's going on. What has my attention? Do I have the attention span of a toddler or a champion? And so once we accept where we are and we accept that truth, we got to give ourselves time to heal. We got to learn from not only our mistakes, but learn from others' mistakes. We have to study why we fail, how we fail, and we've got to ensure that we never do it again. If you're going to win the war for the day, you're going to have a high threshold for pain. You will be offended. People will let you down. People will lie to you. Places, circumstances, life will unfold and unravel. This life will knock you in your mouth, but you got to stay focused. Even when it's painful, even when we're ostracized, even when we're excommunicated and ghosted, it may hurt, but that pain will subside. If you're going to crush this day, this week, this month, this quarter, and this year, and if the rest of your life is going to be the best of your life, you're going to have to think differently, plan differently, set the goal, and you're going to have to write it down. You've got to get clear, you've got to get specific, and once you get specific, what you wrote down mandates what you do. I said it before, I'll say it again. Oftentimes, the day feels mundane and meaningless because we are directionless. Write the vision down. Get clear, get specific, write it down. Document it. Get serious about it. Write it, read it. If you want to see success, then you need to make the planning stages significant, and you need to see the value in the process. We want wealth, but we don't want a plan. We want success, but we don't want significance. We want connection, but we don't want correction. I've got to write it down, and not only write it down, but I need my circle of accountability to correct things that may be wrong. Because if you're trying to build this dream and walk in your destiny by yourself, if you think you can pull it off with no help, with no purpose partner, then it's too small. I'm speaking healing over you. I'm speaking breakthrough over you. I'm speaking that you walk into your future, that you'll let go of what was to step into what is. I believe this for you. I believe that as you become and not just do, that what you seek will pursue you. Destiny will begin to chase you down. No matter how far you have sunk, no matter how hard you have fallen, you've got enough grit, you've got enough grace, you've got enough faith, you've got enough courage to stand up. It's time to rise.
I need you to breathe. Let this thing go. Release it from your system. And remember, in this very moment, that all you have is all you need.
How is it that we unlock our futures and let go of the trauma and let go of the betrayal and let go of the heartache and the challenges and the mountains and the giants and every disappointment and every failure? How is it that we are able to walk away from the past? And one of the first things we have to understand is that I got to acknowledge that I may be dealing with a measure of depression. I may be dealing with the spirit of heaviness. Some of us are not willing to acknowledge that we are depressed. And when I unpack depression, deep rest, that we are resting in a state of paralysis where we can't move, we're stuck, we're stagnant, and we're stationary. Today, I let the past go. Today, I'm moving on. Number one, I'm acknowledging that I've got some challenges in my present and they derive from my past. This is more than an invitation to the future. This is a command to leave your past behind. This is a charge to you in this moment to let it go. You gotta let it go. What did not work out, who was not present, who did not support you, who hurt you, who caused you to go into a state of depression and anxiety and defeat, who exposed you to things at an early age, who opened up doors to insecurity, the people who bullied you, the people who did not see you, the people who undervalued you, the people who were present for a moment but then left you for dead. I gotta let it go. If I want to be free in my present and in my future, I gotta let it go. And so I am aware of what happened to me. I am aware of the trauma. I am aware of the betrayal. I am aware that I am downtrodden and I am battered and broken and weary and tired, and I'm stuck in a place of autopilot where I don't even know what tomorrow looks like. I'm not even free enough to dream about the future. I'm so broken from my past. If you want breakthrough, then this must be your moment of release. When you say, Marcus, how do I release? I need to acknowledge what happened to me. I need to acknowledge what they did, what they said, what they did not do, how they lied, how they punctured, how they fractured, how they stepped and stomped on the hope that was in me, how they let me down, how now I've got diminished expectations, but now I'm going to release it. I want this thing off my back and out of my system, purged from my heart. I don't want to think about it anymore. I don't want to meditate on it anymore. I want the light and the brilliance and the fire of my future. I want the hope of a new beginning. I'm letting this thing go. If you want to be released, then release it now. And the only way you're going to release is if you forgive them for the things that were done to you, not done for you, said about you. Forgive yourself from all the mistakes you have made. And when I come on, this is your time to release. This is your time to release, to let it go. What happened to you? What was said about you? What they did? What you did has taken up too much real estate in your mind, rent free. And so what happens is when we meditate on the past, when we meditate on what is behind us, it takes up real estate in our present. And if we remain off kilter and fractured and beaten and broken in the present, then we have no future. And so one of the next things you're going to have to do is that once you're aware of this state, that you are stuck and stationary and that you live a stagnant type of lifestyle, I'm understanding the trauma effects on my brain and how it changed my behavior. It changed my perspective. I understand what happened to me, and I cannot change it, but I can change how I feel about it. Your greatest move, your best response is to let it go. It is to set your ego and your pride aside for the sake of your future. Just forgive them. Let it go. Release from your spirit. It's time to let it go and move on. The present is a gift, and the future is waiting. The question is, will you let go of your past? Be grateful for the clothes on your back and the roof on your head. Even if you're in a homeless shelter, even if you're in a prison, even if you're in the hospital right now, even if you're in transition, sleeping on somebody's couch, be grateful. Be grateful that you are living. Be grateful that you are breathing. Seize the opportunity. The time is now. There are far, far better things ahead than anything we have left behind. In order for us to have a new beginning, there must be an ending. And we've got to be okay with entrances and exits, beginnings and endings. Many of you, most of you, desire, long for a new beginning. To begin again, before you were hurt, to feel again, to cry tears of joy. The you before you were exposed at an early age, the you before you had to grow up too soon, the you before the loss, the you before the death of a loved one, the you before you were fired, the you before you were hurt, the you before they left you, the you before they abandoned you. Who were you before you were hurt? What if you could go back to the very moment you were hurt, you were let down, they left you, you lost them, and you can be that person again, and you can grow from that place. This is where we should desire to be. This is the gift and the power of the present and the fire of the future. Every moment wasted looking back keeps us from moving forward. Stop wasting your precious present moments. You're gonna have to normalize not holding a grudge. You're gonna have to normalize not hating people that hurt you. You're going to have to normalize forgiveness.
Evaluate your circle of influence. Be grateful for the people you have now. Sometimes the hardest part isn't that we can't let go of the past. It's the fact that we don't know how to begin again. And this is why we need forgiveness. And this is why we need healing. And this is why we need to release. And this is why we have to let it go. If you're listening to me and you're tired of living and you're ready to pull the trigger, you're ready to let it go, I just need you to know that hopelessness and depression is not stronger than the possibility of beginning again. The sufferings from your past and even the present moment is not worthy to be compared with the glory, come on, that shall be revealed in all of us. That revelation is my anchor to the ground and my hope for a future. And so this is why I can press toward the mark. I can press toward the future. I can press for it. I can fight for it. I can build again. I can create again. I can believe again. I can forgive one more time. I can let it go. I can evolve. I can grow. This is my opportunity for metamorphosis and evolution. This is my opportunity for growth, for expansion. The more I release, the more I can become. And the more I become, the more I can attract. What is it that has not been attracted to you? When I understand who I am and where I am, I position myself for attraction. This ain't about the law of attraction. This is about dealing with me first and the dream that God has given me, and the purpose, and everything else will be added. You are alive for a reason. I can choose to forgive. I can choose to let go. I can choose to believe. I can choose to dream. I choose to be free. Be not overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. So forgive, release, and in some cases restore with a new title and a new assignment to punch through a bigger target. And so don't be so quick to amputate everybody out of your life that hurt you in your past. Because if an item can be repurposed, then so can a person. Whatever you can't let go of, whatever you can't get over, you have made it an idol. And it simply means that you love it or them more than you love yourself. The question I want to ask you is, how bad do you want your future? The truth is, some of us prefer familiar sufferings because we are afraid of the unknown. And for many of you listening to me, joy and peace and abundance in the fullness of life is so unknown. It is so uncharted that you are afraid to release. You are afraid to let go. But today is the day you decide, you come to the resolve. I need you to concentrate your mind on the power of the present and the brilliance of the future. Let me tell you something. Amputation without forgiveness is like a virus. Marcus, what are you saying? This means that if you try to go away, if you try to move from it, if you try to get a new area code and a new zip code and a new career, that's just busyness. That's artificial significance. You gotta forgive this person, because going away and changing your zip code and changing your area code and trying to get a new career and marrying somebody else is not going to take the pain away, because you are running from you. You gotta look in the mirror and you gotta decide, I forgive myself for the mistakes I made. I forgive the people for what they did. Everybody wants new, but don't want to become new. It's time to become new. It's your time. It's your turn to live a life of abundance in the fullness of joy and peace and fire and passion and resilience. This is your time. Make this your moment to no longer be a prisoner of the past. For the past is not your prison. The past is your platform to build what it is that you were placed in this world to build. Release your brilliance. Release the idea. Step out
launch it, build it, create it, imagine it. The time is now.
Enemies are a part of life. Enemies are inevitable. As sure as the sun is in the sky, you will always face opposition. If you're going to pursue your purpose, you're going to face persecution and opposition. There's always going to be somebody that tells you that you are not enough, that you don't measure up, that you're not smart enough, that you don't have the work ethic. And they position themselves as a barrier, a wall, a block, attempting to discourage you and stop you from what it is that you believe you've been assigned to do. It is inevitable. There's no need to retaliate. There's no need to speak curses over them. There's no need to say anything about them. Just do what you've been called to do. Stick to the plan. Pray for them and keep it moving. It's the go-getters. It's the anomalies. It's the people that think outside of the box. It's the people that see the glass half full. It's the people that are the pursuers that will always face persecution. You are a target for them. Do not give naysayers, onlookers, haters the satisfaction. If you are facing an enemy right now, if you are facing an insurmountable feat, if you are facing anything big, it is because you are at the precipice of the greatest blessing and the greatest promotion of your life through the passage of an enemy that's watching you, that's hoping that you crash and burn. Pray for your enemies. Bless those who curse you. Keep doing what God has called you to do. Overcome evil with good. Understand that this is an opportunity, that this is a moment for God to get some glory out of your life. It is oftentimes in this season of adversity when everybody says, no, it's impossible, it won't happen. Oftentimes it is then and then only that you are right at the precipice of the greatest season of your life. When you are surrounded by people trying to discourage you from accomplishing a thing, it is possible to silence the crowd, to silence the doubters, to silence the people that said you're finished, that said you're done. It is possible to silence them and prove them all wrong. Stay the course, no matter the cost. Let them talk about you. Let them drag your name through the mud. Let them lie. And you keep giving, and you keep believing, and you keep pushing. I don't care what they say. Eventually, your enemy will become your footstool. You know, they say new levels, new devils. Every time you're trying to walk through a door, even if God swings that door open for you, there will be testing. There will be adversity. There will be a reality that at the door of every opportunity is an enemy, an adversary. Just because the door's been open doesn't mean that everybody's going to want you to walk through it. Oftentimes, many of us never discover what we're made of until we cross paths with someone who tells us we're nothing, we can't do it, and fight you tooth and nail, trying to get you not to believe in this great vision, this dream. Haters and naysayers and enemies are always going to try to get in your head. You got to learn how to stay calm, cool, and collected right in the face of adversity. Right in the face of the tallest giants that you will ever stand toe-to-toe against. Oftentimes, it's the people that don't like you that expose your weaknesses. And once your weaknesses are exposed, you can go to the next level. If people can still get up under your skin, if people can still get you angry, if people can get you bitter, if people can get you jealous, if people can make you afraid, if people can punk you out of your position, they are exposing a weakness. They are exposing a vulnerability. Thank God somebody exposed it.
We need a bit of adversity. In all of us, there is a nemesis, there is an adversary, there is a part of us that does not want us to succeed. I need you to face that enemy even within yourself and prove the part of you that does not believe wrong. It's you versus you. Everybody thinks it's you against the world. Oftentimes, man, it's you against you. You will always be one of the greatest adversaries in your life. The part of you that doesn't want your destiny, the part of you that doesn't want you to win, the part of you that doesn't want you to stay focused, that doesn't want you to lean in, that doesn't want you to believe that it is possible. There's something in you that doesn't want the discipline that is required. There's something in you that doesn't want you to be able to perform in the middle of chaos. There's a part of us that wants to sit and wallow. There's a part of us that wants to sit and complain and play the blame game and say that it's everybody's fault but ours that we are where we are. God, I believe, but help my unbelief. It is a beautiful thing to keep going, to persevere, to triumph right in the midst of adversity, but not just to prove them wrong, to prove yourself wrong. Success is the kryptonite that silences and cripples your enemies. The people that do not want to see you win, the people that want to see you suffer in silence, the people that want you depressed, the people that want you to quit, the people that want you to throw in the towel, who don't believe in you. When the temperature rises, when the very foundation of your belief system is shaken, when nothing lines up with what you thought it should look like, you have a destiny to fulfill. When you can't hear it, when you can't see it, when you believe it, but it seems to be nowhere in sight, can you still hold on to the dream that it's possible, that you will get through this, that there's something after this, that if you could keep your mind stayed on the target, if you could keep your composure, if you could not lose it, but hold on to it, that it's all gonna make sense after a while. I pray for myself. I pray for my enemies. I pray for everybody that want me to quit. Everybody that want me to throw in the towel. Everybody that believes the dream is too big to be fulfilled. That the destiny is impossible. But I'm possible. Keep saving, keep believing, keep maturing, keep investing, keep giving, keep pressing, keep walking. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, drag yourself across this season. But whatever you do not stop.
Destiny is calling, even now. Many of you listening to me have been beautifully equipped to live in a world that no longer exists. But I want to give you a new word for change, and that word is evolution. And you are either going to evolve or expire. See, everything changes. The economy changes, relationships changes. We change mentally and emotionally and physically, and you are either dying or you are either living. Every time you made a change, you got hurt. And so this is why when you hear the word change, there is a mental block. You cannot change because you have equated change with pain. Every time you have changed, you feel pain. You stepped out of one relationship to another and you feel pain. You leave one neighborhood to another and you feel pain. You go from one job to another and you feel the fire of transition. So every time you hear the word change, you see pain. Every time they say it's time to make a difference, every time they say you need to go from this place to that place, all you can see is blood in your eyes. All you can feel is the blood and trauma in your mouth, hypnotized by the pain of change. Evolve your belief system. Change is not pain. See change as growth. See change as transformation. See change as evolution. See change as necessary. See change as critical. See change as inevitable. And the more and more you start to see that change is not pain, you're going to see transformation. Your life's going to experience a quantum leap, because now, even though in your childhood you were traumatized because of change, your history is not your destiny. See, those of you who will evolve, who are willing to evolve, you will inherit the future. Those of you who are willing to take everything you do to the next level, you will inherit the future. It is the individual who is willing to become more. Change is inevitable, and you are either changing for the worse or changing for the better. You decide. Change is an invitation to the future. If I can change, I can have my future. Another reason why people hate change is because not only do they see change as pain, but all they see change is as failure. And it's because every time you've made a change, you have failed. And you have to start identifying change with a new layer of belief. People tell me all the time, it's hard to get wealthy. It's hard to grind. It's hard to be focused. How do you even do these speeches? It's hard to stay motivated. It's hard to stay broke. It's hard to stay depressed. It's hard to stay governed by anxiety. It's hard to be inconsistent. It's hard not to have daily disciplines. It's hard not to believe in yourself. It's hard to be broke. It's hard to be poor. It's hard. It's all hard. So choose your heart. You either go work for it, you're gonna sit there and let life knock you down and dare you to get back up. So I see the privilege. I see the moment. I see change as pleasure. I see change as transformation. I see change as evolution. I see change as beauty, brilliance. I see change as the future. I see change as necessary. I see that if I don't change, there is a generation of people who are going to be stuck in the same place if I don't evolve. See, the marketplace rewards those who have evolved. The marketplace rewards those who have become more valuable. You will be rewarded for the pain. Cry in secret, bleed in secret, but in public you'll be rewarded. And if everything you listen to goes over your head, you are going to miss your moment and stay living in the midst of the madness of impossibility, the lie. Somebody lied to you and told you that it was impossible. Every time somebody told me I could not do something, I had a decision that I had to make in order to achieve what they said was impossible. The power is wrapped in the truth and in the power of their perspective. It's wrapped in your capacity, your ability to believe in a dream, even if nobody believes in you. Destiny is calling. Your perspective can either become your prison or your passport. It can either arrest you or release you. In 1903, it was the Wright brothers that defied the laws of gravity. And if you know anything about gravity, gravity will pull you down and keep you down. It will stop you from flight. It will stop you in your tracks. If you believe in something, metaphorically speaking, gravity will hold you down, it will hold you back, and it will dare you to fight. Your perspective can either be your prison or your plane. I don't know about you, but today, I made the decision to defy the laws of gravity. The first successful heavier-than-air powered aircraft was designed and built by the Wright brothers. They flew it 4 times on December 17, 1903, near Kill Devil Hills, about 4 miles. I believe possibility is destiny, and it is fear that keeps us arrested and apprehended by the spirit of impossibility. I'm gonna tell you this right now, and nobody else is gonna tell you this. Impossible is a spirit, and you've got to arrest that spirit or it will arrest you. Impossibility is like a soda fountain, the easy way out, the path of least resistance, because to say something is impossible, to give up, to cop out, to fill your cup of carbonated excuses, it tastes good, but it doesn't sit well as it goes down into your system. To remove the two letters is the grit of existence, the binding faith of hope to your chest and letting your heart beat. You gotta rewrite the code, you gotta rewrite the script. Calling all reformers, I'm calling all innovators, I'm calling all game changers, I'm calling all world shakers, I'm calling all city shifters, I'm calling everybody that has an inkling of faith in themselves, I'm calling everybody. You will inherit the future. We got to rewrite the code in our soul, because it's a matter of the soul. It's a matter of the will. People that have a will to win are the ones who win. These are the people that see the future. These are the people that see not where the hockey puck is, but they see where the hockey puck is going. And that's the type of person that we all need to evolve to become. I learned years ago that the difference between people that get things done and people that do not is sheer willpower. Out of all the motivational speeches you have heard, how much of it have you retained and applied to your life? Because understanding the power and the difference between what is impossible and what is possible, it all comes back to your perspective and your capacity. If your why is big enough, then your will be powerful enough to persevere through the how. You're not looking for resources when you have a will. You become resourceful. And that's the difference between people that see this thing as possible and people that do not. It comes down to one thing, and that is your will. So you don't want it bad enough. You don't want it bad enough. That's why you can't get it done. And so the how intimidates you. And the what boxes you in. We're more concerned about collaboration than character. I think we need to come back to a place where we're examining ourselves as an individual before a people. We make the people better when we deal with the person. You got to deal with the person. You got to deal with you. It's always going to be impossible to you if you don't see the power of your will and the power of your why.
Sounds like you're having a tough time. I've been there, so I kind of know what you're talking about. I've been in the ever-cycling vortex of self-doubt, anxiety, frustration. It's no good. Trust me, I know. Let me share a few things with you that hopefully will help the pain to subside.
Sometimes it just gets hard. Let's be honest, it just gets hard and you want to quit. You just want to check out. And I think in those moments that we've got to not only remember why we started, but we've got to get really clear on the anti-vision. And that anti-vision is what you do not want.
I'm gonna give you 4 rules that if you can obey, if you can make these rules a command, I believe not only will the pain subside, but perhaps transformation could take place on the inside. Rule number 1, there are no more 0 days. What is a 0 day? A 0 day is when you don't do a single solitary thing towards whatever your dream or goal is in this life. I want you to make a conscious decision that there will be no more 0 days. This means that when the day is over and you look up and it's 11:58 at night, you did something. No more 0 days. I mean, I don't care if it was one push-up, one sit-up, one page of the book, you feel me? But just make a decision that there will be no more 0 days. You see, when you're in the vortex of being bummed and you are trapped in the pattern of self-sabotaging behavior, you get used to it. And the only way you are going to break out is with a massive string of consistent non-0 days. That's rule number 1.
At some point, you gotta sit back and think to yourself, you know what? I've been here too long. I've thought like this too long. I've hurt too long. I've been fractured long enough. I've been broken long enough. I've been mad long enough. I've been depressed long enough. You know what? I've been here too long. It's time for me to go.
Rule number 2 is that you are going to have to be grateful to the 3 U's. Call it mumbo jumbo if you want to. Newsflash, the 3 U's are the past you, the present you, and the future you.
There's more left in that tank. Don't let anybody tell you you don't have what it takes. There is more left in your tank. Keep striving. We've got to get into this pace of grace where we are pacing ourselves and we're honoring our journey and we're honoring the people that have been planted in our lives. Let me tell you something you already know. There are enough people who have not believed in you. There are enough people who have walked away from you. There are enough people who told you you don't have what it takes, you don't measure up, you will not finish. Don't be the weapon that is formed against you. There are enough people that are counting you out. There are enough people that are saying you can't finish. Do not join them. Somebody somewhere believes in you, even if they're not close to you. Somebody is rooting for you to keep going. Somebody is hoping that you don't quit. They are believing that you will be the difference maker, the game changer in your family.
Rule number 3, you are going to have to forgive yourself. I mean it. Maybe you have all the know-how, the money, the ability, strength, and talent to do whatever you want to do. But let's say you still don't do it. Now you're going to give yourself a tough time for not doing what you need to do. Pick your head up. Being disappointed in yourself causes you to be less productive. If you can forgive yourself, you can be healed from the past, equipped for the present, and cast vision for the future.
It is in our nature to be very disempowering, pessimistic, negative people. Sometimes we just don't feel like moving forward. But I need you to know that there are people who are depending on you. There are people that believe in you. There are people that are rooting for you, and they are expecting you to win. I need you to wake up in this new day, in this moment, and seize the opportunity. You are alive for a reason. Remember this: action and adaptability create opportunity. Adapt and overcome, and watch everything change before your eyes. So adaptability is the quality, the gift, the ability to adapt to new circumstances. Adaptability is the capacity to be modified for a new purpose, to be moved this way and still punch through targets and reach my goals and be everything I've been called to be, but I've got to adapt to the times. Adaptability requires movement. Adaptability requires growth. Adaptability requires wisdom and knowledge and understanding and revelation and awareness. We've got to be able to recognize when we're outdated, when we need an upgrade, when we've got to go to that next level, and I can't be embarrassed about it. Adaptability is not buckling under pressure. Adaptability is understanding that in order for me to have this lifestyle that I see in my head, I'm going to have to raise my standards. This is an adjustment. This is a modification. That in times past, this version of me was good enough, but it only got me where I am. And in order for me to go to that next level, Something inside of me has to change.
Rule number 4 is the easiest, and it's 3 words: exercise and books. That's it. Pretty standard advice, but when you exercise daily, you actually get smarter. You get crystal clear about the road ahead. When you exercise, you position yourself to win the war. When you exercise and you push yourself, you will test the limitations of your soul, and you will become crystal clear, both internally and externally, that all you have is all you need.
Someday, at some point in your life, you're going to be able to look back and say, man, I'm so glad I didn't quit. And not only you, but somebody else is waiting to walk up to you in your near future and say, I was watching you the whole time. I saw when you wanted to quit, when you were almost ready to give up and throw in the towel. And I just want to thank you for not quitting. That one life could touch the lives of millions. I need you to believe in this moment that you are safe, you are supported. People believe in you. Just stay determined that you have everything that you need to continue on marching forward. You are a phenomenal human being. You are worth the work. Your future is worth fighting for. So when you face storm, when you face adversity, when you face trial, when you face tribulation, in the eye of the storm, in the middle, in the core of your devastation, when you are faced with opposition, that's when you raise the heat. You don't change your message, you change your methodology. Are you understanding me? Adaptability is not buckling under pressure. Adaptability is not losing your moral compass. Adaptability is raising your voice. And so the harder life hits me, the harder I'm going to fight, the harder I'm going to believe, the harder I'm going to keep pushing, I'm going to keep going, I will persevere, and I'm going to build resilience. And so the harder life hits, the stronger I get. You've got problem-solving skill, you've got a resilience, you have a determination, you have a measure of commitment that nobody in the room has because you've been able to adapt. The moves that you are making are going to impact the lives of so many people that are depending on you to continue. So you got this. You can't quit. There are people that you have not even met yet that are waiting to meet you. It doesn't matter how broken, how weary and devastated you are right now. That pain will not last forever. At some point, it will subside. And when it does, discipline, resilience, fire, passion, power will take its place. So keep going because it's all worth it in the end. If you're going to be fully persuaded about anything, persuade yourself to keep going. And the more that you influence you will influence the world. So keep going until you have won some small victory for humanity. It's one tweak away. It's one adjustment away. It's one modification away. I know it hurts, but you'll be healed once you make this move.
You've lived here too long. You've thought like this long enough. You've behaved like this long enough. You've been triggered long enough. Come on, you've had buttons for too many years. And people have been given permission long enough to push your buttons, to trigger you, to punk you, to corner you, to box you in, to put the lids and put the labels all over you. And you have just conformed to this place of misery. It's time to break through. You've lost long enough. You've been in your learning season long enough. It's time to apply what you've learned. It is time. It's time. It's time. Believe it. Walk in it.
You owe you. Forgive you. And get on with the rest of your life. And you can read them if you want. You can read them again later if you feel like it. But honestly, man, if I spend all this time typing this out to you, and you don't allow it to be a tinder to your fire, well, you're just letting us both down. And you don't have to do that.
You don't have to do anything, but you get to choose.